Hey, what's up, buddy? Just doing a quick, probably half-hour live stream. Working on a sculpture in Aves Epoxy Sculpt, which is a two-part epoxy. You mix the two parts together, gives you a clay-like substance, and you've got about 30 minutes to work with it before it completely hardens. So like these scales up in here are all new, added on. And then after the clay hardens, you can go in and Dremel with the Dremel tool and carve out and sand and smooth and all that fun stuff. Uh, but yeah, so working with Apoxie. This piece was inspired by Bernie Wrightson piece. Bernie had drawn, and I don't know too much about the history of this piece, but love his artwork, so wanted to play around with it and have some fun and just noodle away. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will try to get to them. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, all that jazz. Helps with the whole algorithm thing, I guess. This will not be long. I will be leaving in about 30 minutes or so. Don't mind my dog. She's going to bark at anything that moves. I add a little water on my tools, which kind of prevents it a little bit from sticking to the tool. And it's also good for smoothing out. So I'll add it to my fingers and smooth things out as well. Stop barking, you. So I've added these scales in here and these under here. Right now. And like I said, about 3 hours it'll be like this rock hard consistency. Let's go ahead and remove that picture. What's up? Hiawatha. Hiawatha! How are you? Just doing a little sculpting for about a half hour today. I encourage, if you want to try sculpting, there's a product called Monster Clay that's really malleable and it'll create a pretty solid piece for you. If you want to try and to attempt to sculpt, and I encourage artists to try it because it really helps with seeing things in a 3D format, especially if you're a 2D artist. Really helps. It'll help you see those things in those muscles and things in a 3D format, which will help improve your 2D art, I think. I hope. I feel it's helped me a little bit. Add a little bit under here. And I know you'll see that this might look a different color, but once it all um, hardens, it pretty much all matches. And there's a lot more I'll do to this in terms of sanding and smoothing and carving. Like I'll carve in some details with a Dremel tool. Um, but yeah, doing the 3D art really, I think, really helps with creating your 2D art because you're able to actually get in there and see uh, the different shapes and different angles, and it's fun. And if you want to create like a cool Wolverine statue or for yourself or to sell or whatever. Oh wow, cool. I know what this is. I went to school for sculpture for years. Years. Yeah, I just picked it up probably, I'd say maybe 2 years ago when we're back. Yeah, about it's almost 2 years now when we were back in New York. Um, and I hunted down like, well, what medium am I going to use? What do what's a good starting point? And I found monster clay, and I absolutely love monster clay. Love working with it, but it doesn't allow you to create a finished piece. You have to get into molding your piece afterwards if you want a solid piece. Although I have coated some pieces in a resin, which has made it a little hard, but nothing like this, nothing like Aves epoxy. It's just it's solid. I mean, even this hair is. I mean, these are very thin and they're brittle, but they're pretty solid. Um, but yeah, if you do like comic book work, like I do comic book work as well, and um, I just like seeing what the forms look like, studying what the muscles are doing and how they fold and what would they look like. But I can't take total credit for this piece. Like I said, this was inspired by Bernie Wrightson's mermaid looking creature. I figured, that'd be kind of cool. And I think down on the base, I have this little egg that has a wooden type basket, and I'm going to put it down there, and I'm going to put some coral and maybe a couple crabs and stuff crawling down on the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'll prime it with a cheap primer, get it all one color. If I want to paint it, I'll paint it. I'm not a great painter, so I usually leave most of my pieces in the gray primer color. Yeah, I'm not the world's best sculptor by any means. I've learned a lot by being a Patreon of the Shiflett brothers. I support them and with a Patreon, and they have a lot of useful tips and stuff. And oops, it's a little too thick. Um, but they'll show their process and stuff on the Patreon, and I learn a lot from that, and I get to help them out. So it's kind of a mutual thing, which I think is needed in this day and age. So like I said, I have about a 3-hour window with the Aves to shape things out. After that, it gets down to with a Dremel tool going in and grinding and cutting or stuff like that. Hiawatha says, I moved to oil painting. Same thing. Expanding your mind is always good. I agree. I think it's easy to get trapped in whatever box you're working in, and I think you can lose creativity that way. I think by expanding out, like I've done wood burning, oil painting, uh, watercolor painting. And some people say, you never get good at one thing if you keep bouncing around. Well, that I guess. Um, but you got to go where your passion sends you. You know. I was even looking recently at a tattoo school, thinking about because the laws here in Arizona are different than in New York, and was thinking about trying tattooing. Scary, but if I can get some client that I feel comfortable working on, um, maybe I'll try that. True, true, Hiawatha Wife. This is, I think it all works together. They all support each other. That's true. Very, very true. So much to do on this piece. This one's going to take forever, but that's okay. I really enjoy sculpting. I do. Really gives me a break from sequential work. Oh, thank you very much. Why, you too. You have a blessed day yourself. Thank you for stepping in and sharing. I think eventually I'll start a sculpting stream. I don't know how blurry this all looks though with my current camera. I'll probably end up buying a different camera, um, and I'll end up doing a sculpting stream. And then maybe I could invite the Shiflett brothers to come on and talk about their years of sculpting and their history. If you don't know who they are, check them out. Fantastic sculptors. They work in this Aves and are able to do like amazing things, really cool things. But, oh, speaking of the Shiflett brothers, I was just talking about your ears. You just should have been ringing there, Jared. I have Jared who's jumped in my chat here. As I said, if you guys don't know who Jared and his brother Brandon are, I don't know the two. Like I probably confused the two of them, but if you don't know who they are, check them out. They are really fantastic sculptors. Very inspirational. I keep their book like right by my side here. Jared, an honor to have you in my chat. Way to make me nervous. Way to go. Yeah, they also have a Patreon, and if you guys want to support people who make art with their hands, support them. It's also a benefit in that you learn a hell of a lot from their Patreon. They go into depth to what they're working on. Now, I know I didn't catch this exactly, and that wasn't the point of using Bernie Wrightson's picture. It's really the inspiration that matters to me at this point. I don't want to copy his piece exactly. I wanted to use it as a base to work off of. Jared, I'd love to have once I start up a stream for sculpting, I'd love to have you guys on and talk to you about um, working in the industry and sharing what you guys have done. If you're interested, just hit me up, or I'll hit you up, and you can tell me no. So make sure I blend these edges. I'll end up there's going to be so much Dremel work and carving and sanding involved with this piece. Oh, great, man. Jerry. Thank you. I'd love to pick your brain, and I just have to plan it out after the holidays. Obviously, I know everybody's like swamped with holiday stuff. I'd be happy to blast it all over the internet for you guys. Yeah, it'd be something I'd have to plan out, but definitely, if you're interested, I appreciate that. Would love to pick your brain, share what you guys do out to the world, and interview you. You're not going to be a bad girl, are you? Talking to my dog. Yeah, I'm not going to be on long today. I have to take my son to work, so I just got off a live stream with Rich Peretta, comic book artist. He was a comic book artist for Marvel. I don't know if he did DC work. He's now overseas, across the pond, as they say. Ah, well, my dog has something to say. Forget which bone in the wrist is higher and lower. Higher outside. Draw it all the time. Should know these things. Just gonna smooth that out. If you're wondering what I'm adding to this, it's just water. Helps smooth out. Whoa, helps smooth out the clay. That was almost disastrous. Forget how actually light this is. This thing is. Yes, so folks, if you don't know who Brandon and Jared Shiflett are, please go check them out. They are what I would say sculpting royalty. Amazing sculptors. They have a piece in the Frazetta Museum. Amazing. If you're a fan of Frazetta like I am, oh, they put their stuff on eBay too, like some of their original sculptures for people to bid on. One of these days. But yeah, I'd love to have, so I start up the stream, I'd love to have you on, Jared. You and Brandon, if possible. I don't know what your schedules are, but we could hammer all that out. This one kind of got away from me there. Trying to get that flow there. I missed it because it should have all been turned up. The guy I'm putting scales on, he has what look like bone striations in there. Striations. Trying to get the fingerprints off. Ooh, excuse me. Tell you, I working with Aves is a challenge, let me tell you. It's a fun challenge, though. I do love the additive process. And I know I can always go in with a Dremel, fix things and smooth them and all that jazz, so. I gotta do this entire inside. It's gonna be fun. I don't know what possessed me to make this all one sculpture instead of making the base separate. I think I was having a hard time getting the pose I had, so I'm just going to fix this here. That was a newbie move. Let's see, what time do we have here? 10:32. I'm going to have to shut down. Thank you, anybody. Thank you for coming out. Jared, thank you for blessing my stream with your presence. And I will reach out to you after the new year. I'd like to do something to kind of get people not familiar with, but maybe have people see sculpting in process, understand it a little bit, maybe. And you guys obviously would be great for that. You know, I'd like to interview some other sculptors as well, you know, and just like there's plenty of stuff on the internet about comic books and how to do comic books, but I don't see a lot of stuff about sculpting. At least maybe I'm not looking in the right areas too. That very well could be, but I don't see a lot of stuff about interviewing sculptors or even sculptors just sitting around and chatting and talking about the craft and the business and all that fun stuff. So I think it would be a different change in pace. All right, I'll leave this. I got about 3 hours before I can jump in. And thank you guys again for whoever stepped out. Please like, please share, do all that jazz. And I will see you all later. Everybody have a great day.